The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell, where we see activities from our selected stock exchanges. The global business, where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports, as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Top of the morning to you. It's the 21st day of October 2024, and today, as always, we'll take a look at commodity reports and activities from selected exchanges on the segment of the bell. We'll take a look also at business news stories from around Africa and the rest of the world, global business. And then we'll bring the conversation home and take a look at issues affecting businesses in the southeastern part of Nigeria on the Eastern Business Report. And then finally, activities and conversations from around the market will come to you on Afia. The Afia Business Morning takes center stage every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Sincere apologies for coming behind schedule. My name is Ubon Kings. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be jumping right into opening bell. Please stay. Today, the exchange in London opened an hour ago. The New York Stock Exchange is yet to open, while in China, opening bells went off at 2 a.m. local time. We're going to be going straight right now to the floors of our featured exchanges. And like they say, a charter begins at home, so we're going to be starting off on the floors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this morning. It may be interesting to know that quite a lot of activity happened. The NGX all-share index over the weekend closed on a low, incidentally, falling by 0.01% to close at 98,070.47 points. A total of 358,845,699 shares, which are valued at 11,962,285,332 naira 18 kobo, were traded across 6,790 deals with equity capitalization of 59,404,838,297 naira 3 kobo. Now we're going to take a look at the biggest gainers and losers of the day. The biggest gainer of the day, by the way, was Nichols, which rose by 10%. Other gainers were the likes of UPL, Dart Communications, Transpire, and CI Leasing. And on the other hand, Iredale topped the losers list with a decline of 10%. Other losers were the likes of Deep Cap, Champion, NPFM, CRFPK, and Jais Bank. And on that note, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll be looking at activities from all the selected exchanges. I'm talking about the likes of the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, Shenzhen, and Shanghai exchanges. The Afia Business Morning and indeed opening bell. We'll be right back after this time out. Please stay. You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you're watching Opening Bell. We're going straight to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange now, where it is, well, all rises in index values across the board. We're interested to know that the NYSE Composite DJ is up at 0.15%. The NYSE US 100 index is up at 0.09%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up at 0.09% as well. The S&P 500 index is up at 0.40%. The NYSE FANG TM index is up at 1.32%. The Nasdaq Composite is up at 0.63%. The Nasdaq 100 is up at 0.66%. Well, from that, let's take a look at the activities from the London Stock Exchange this morning. It's mostly dips in index values across the board, with only the FTSE 250, which is up at 0.23%. However, the FTSE 100 is down at 0.32%. The FTSE 350, FTSE All-Share Index are both down at 0.25% and 0.24% respectively. And now moving on to the Chinese Stock Exchange, starting off at the floor of the Shenzhen Exchange, where is all rises in index values across board. The Shenzhen Composite Index up at 4.71%. The SE Composite Index is up at 4.09%. The Chinex Index is also up at 7.95%. Away from that, but still in China, we move over to the exchange at Shanghai, where it's the repeat of order of events. There's all rises in index values across board as well. The SSE Composite Index is up at 2.91%. The SSE 50 Index is up at 2.74%. The Star 50 Index is up at a whooping 11.33%. The SSE 180 Index is up at 3.04%. The SSE 380 Index is up at 3.25%. The CSI 300 Index is up at 3.62%. We're going to a quick break. When we return, we'll be looking at commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the Apple market. You may want to follow this program, join in on conversations there on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, do hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. And by the way, you can follow us on Instagram with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. Oh well, the Afia Business Morning and indeed Opening Bell will be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okbala.
My name is Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in a market speaking.
Yeah, welcome back, and I am Ubon Kings. This is still the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell here on Afia TV. It's time to check in on commodity prices, and we will begin with precious metals. And well, it's upward movement for gold today, and indeed all precious metals on the chart this morning, because gold is up at 1.09%. I beg your pardon. Silver is up at 1.09%. Platinum is up at 1.99%, and palladium is up at 3.61%. Away from that, let's take a look at energy this morning. Energy, well, it's a mixture of rises and dips in index values across board, with more of rises than dips. Natural gas is down, oil Brent is down, oil vanilla is down 3.79%, 1.87%, and 2.84% respectively. However, ethanol, coal, both up at 0.98% to 0.17%. Brass, River, and Quibo also up with the same values of 0.77%. Away from that, let's take a look at industrial metals. This morning, industrial metals is more of rises than dips. Lead being the only commodity which is down at 0.15%. However, aluminum is up at 1.43%. Iron ore is up narrowly at 0.01%. Copper is up at 1.26%. Nickel is up at 0.92%. Zinc is up at 2.47%. And tin is also up at 0.62%. You are watching the Afia Business Morning. This indeed is Opening Bell. Do have to follow the program, join in on the conversation, and be part of the live feed right now on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, do have to hit the like button, and remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also follow us on Instagram at Afia Business to be part of our social media community, because of course we like to interact with you right there on Instagram. Up next, we'll be taking a look at the hikes in prices of food commodities in the open market, as well as price hikes in fuel prices. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow when the exchanges reopen right here on the opening bell. Stay tuned. The Afia Business Morning returns in a bit. My name is Ubon Kings.
Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. See opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and Go TV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we're going to be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubon Kings. Here are the headlines we are tracking at the moment. Starting off in Africa, where it's reported that cryptocurrency regulation intensifies in Kenya. And away from that, and still in related development, well, pretty much related to the first headline, BRICS launches demo of its new payment system. And from the automotive world, it's reported that the Italian car workers on strike for the first time in 20 years. We'll bring you details of the stories and more right after this time out. Please stay. You're watching Global Business on the Afia Business Morning, and we begin with business stories from Africa, where it's reported that tax officials in Kenya plan to step up their efforts in taxing digital transactions by implementing digital systems to capture crypto transactions, citing a significant loss of tax revenue due to unregulated crypto activities as the use of cryptocurrencies soars and is becoming more and more popular in the country due to the appeal of decentralized international transactions. Although in December 2023, members of Kenya's parliament advocated for a law that would allow for the taxation of the country's crypto traders, where the bill was intended to tax an estimated 4 million Kenyan cryptocurrency traders. The legislative arm noted that the country's central bank had been very lackadaisical in regulating Kenya's crypto market. Let's look at something very fundamental here. This reminds me of Biden's story, really. It brings that into the fore, maybe unrelated, but pretty much related as far as I'm concerned, where we saw that Nigeria began to crack down on crypto trading and all of that, and Biden was the one suffering the heat of everything. But here we have Kenya wanting to step up efforts in taxing, so to speak, digital transactions by implementing digital systems to capture crypto transactions, citing significant loss in tax revenue, of course, due to, yes, I agree. While we're trying to make as much money from everyone wants to make money. Governments increasing tax burden on citizens, and this is one of them. But then, yes, we agree there should be some form of regulation. But the question really is, the legislative, how far have they come? Especially, I'm talking about Nigeria now. How far have we come with policies and frameworks to actually pretty much put more like a guiding document or something that helps cryptocurrency to trade? Because the world over is moving from what it is to cryptocurrency. Let's face it, that's what it is. Because the next story I'm going to share with you would actually open you up to this reality. And still on more business stories from the world of money and cryptocurrency, let me tell you that BRICS, an intergovernmental organization comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has just dropped a demo of its long-awaited payment system, BRICS Pay. And it's being called the cornerstone of payment systems for independent sovereign nations, where the new payment system is rolling out as the group gears up for their big post-expansion summit in Kazan, Russia, starting tomorrow, October 22 to 24, 2024. Furthermore, Chinese officials stated that BRICS Pay will give countries more ways to settle goods and services, strengthening economic ties as it is designed to help these nations step away from the US dollar. Quickly, let's look at that. I mean, I just said that a minute ago, the story about Kenya trying to, tax crypto traders and transactions, so to speak. And here, BRICS has taken it a step further. And this really is not your new currency. This is all backed up in crypto. That's the truth. Backed up crypto gold. That's where it is. I'm interested to know that this is, according to the last paragraph, the end part of the last paragraph, it is designed to help these nations step away from the US dollar. In other words, to help these countries more like get rid of the greenback, that's the US dollar. And if that happens, I mean, let's face it, the dollar has been the dominant currency for centuries, maybe decades if you may. But now we're seeing a shift from the US dollars to currencies that are backed up with gold, or currencies, digital currencies that are backed up, cryptocurrency specifically. And that would mean that these countries will not rely on the dollar anymore. Do you know what that would do to the US economy? That would mean these countries, I'm talking about the likes of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other affiliates, okay? Because there are quite a number of other affiliates. Because by October 22, that's tomorrow, to 2024, we're going to be finding out that more countries will be joining the BRICS. As a matter of fact, these first few I just mentioned here are the cardinals. I mean, the acronym speaks for itself, BRICS. You get Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, amongst others. There are a plethora of African countries that are part of the BRICS system. And that would mean, to a large extent, Africa begins to de-dollarize their economy. And that would create a lot of boost, because quite frankly, the African continent has been bedeviled, so to speak, by the greenback. But then, story for another day, I guess. You're watching Global Business here on the Afia Business Morning and Afia TV. Kindly join in on the conversation. Watching live right now on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe for notifications so you get all notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And you can follow us on socials. We are available on Instagram with the handle @AfiaBusiness_, just so you can be part of our social media community. Come next will be more business stories from the automotive world right after this time out. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in a market pikin.
Glad to have you rejoin us on the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. You are still watching Global Business. Now to the rest of the stories. And this time, we're moving on to stories, business stories from the automotive world, where it's reported that Tesla, a U.S. electric car maker, is planning to build the biggest car plant in the country, manufacturing 1 million cars annually. As it has been told, it can start initial works on the expansion of its electric car factory in Berlin, Germany, after being given an environmental permit by the Brandenburg State Environmental Agency. However, Tesla's first European factory is expected to raise production from the currently planned 500,000 cars a year, which has yet to be achieved, to 1 million after the expansion of the factory, which would surpass Volkswagen's main plant in Wolfsburg and make Greenheit the largest car maker plant in the country. Moreover, the new permit allows the car maker to start the first of 3 planned expansion phases, including the construction of infrastructure for storage areas, a battery cell test laboratory, and logistics areas. Real quickly, let's take a look at that story real quickly for the sake of emphasis. Tesla is opening up, let me paraphrase the whole story. He's opening up a new branch, production factory as it were, in Germany. Now, or rather expanding, so to speak. Now, it may interest you to know, let's go by figures now, that they already had a production capacity of 500,000 cars yearly, but they have never really reached that target, never. It always fallen between 150 and 200,000 sometimes, cars. But now they're opening, expanding shop, lack of better expression, expanding shop to actually accommodate 1 million cars. Question is, will they be able to achieve same? Don't forget that Volkswagen just shares a little distance from them, and Volkswagen has been, so to speak, the largest producer, so to speak, of vehicles in Germany. Tesla is coming to the picture to compete with Volkswagen, but don't forget, Volkswagen already has a market. Volkswagen already has a name. Tesla just came into being some years back, but then I'm not talking about when they started, I'm talking about the market capital, market share, so to speak. And if you ask me, I don't think, Tesla will do so well, so to speak, in Germany. I must say the truth. If Tesla was operating like almost other European brand vehicles, EU vehicles, most of them have factories, so to speak, in Asia, China more specifically. Why? Because work, labor is a little, it's not so high. Everything is a lot subsidized, so they could produce more. Do you get what I'm saying? Compared to Germany. Don't forget also, Germany some time ago, we found out that the Volkswagen workers were protesting, right? Because Volkswagen said they were going to close down, one of their factories, so to speak. And now, I don't think they did their homework, frankly, because that's a country where a lot of things are nosediving, and you're going to open up shop to hopefully build as many as 1 million cars in a year, when people who have been there on ground are closing shop. Oh well, maybe there's something they know that we don't know, but until then, we'll keep it where it is. Workers in Italy, and this is in an attempt to end this bulletin and in a related development, still from the automotive sector. Workers in Italy, in Italy's troubled automotive sector, are holding national strike for the first time in 20 years, where tens of thousands of car workers have marched through the streets of Rome, waving union flags and carrying banners in a protest about working conditions in the car industry. Meanwhile, the sector's three main unions in Italy have asked the government to protect employment in the sector and help secure the future of the car-making industry in Italy, as the uncertainty around possible plans of global car manufacturer Stellantis lies in the heart of current strike action. Do you know that this is no different from almost every location where there is actually a car service provider, car manufacturer? It's pretty much the same. I tell you the truth, it's pretty much the same. Germany has suffered this in recent times, and Volkswagen as case study, we've seen that play out, and quite a number of others are seeing the same thing now. Is Italy's turn. But then again, Euronews takes out the time to report on this particular phenomenon. Let's take a look.
Tens of thousands of automotive sector workers marched through the streets of Rome on Friday. They came from across Italy and abroad to join one of the largest strikes in recent years. Taking part in the protests were not only the sector's main unions, but also employees of Italy's sole major automaker Stellantis. They expressed their concerns about the sector's decline.
Noi abbiamo una situazione che sta precipitando, i volumi stanno crollando, non faremo neanche 500.000 veicoli nel nostro paese, cosa che non avveniva dal 1956. C'è una situazione di perdita occupazionale di oltre 12.000 lavoratori in 3 anni, c'è la cassa integrazione che si fa più cassa integrazione che lavoro. Diventa fondamentale che la Presidenza del Consiglio convochi l'amministratore delegato, i sindacati, perché per noi è fondamentale mettere in fila investimenti, aiuti al settore per il rilancio di uno dei settori più trainanti del nostro Paese.
In the last 17 years, Stellantis has experienced a 70% drop in production. Workers fear that the company's future plans could result in further job cuts, and they denounce plans for relocation to low-cost countries.
La situazione del settore Stellantis è in grave crisi. In questo momento tutte le emissioni industriali che stanno dando li stanno collocando all'estero. Tutte le vetture prodotte in questo momento stanno andando in Polonia, in Spagna, in Marocco, e noi siamo molto preoccupati.
The call to address the crisis is global, affecting the whole European automotive industry. Competitiveness and the green transition have taken a strain on the whole sector. That's why union representatives from several EU countries and beyond have gathered here to take to the streets and join the protest.
Tous les Européens, tous les gouvernements, ils doivent sauver l'emploi en Italie, en France, en Belgique, ainsi qu'en Allemagne. Il faut mettre de l'argent dans la sauvegarde de l'emploi et pas dans les guerres.
It would be a shame on Europe if we lost that industrial expertise, the skilled jobs, all of the innovation which comes from the Italian automotive industry. So the fight in Italy is our fight, and that's why we are demanding very strongly for a European plan, industrial plan, investment plan to deal with the crisis in the industry.
The story, as well as other stories, as they unfold, and keep you in the loop, just so that you are informed. And talking about keeping you in the loop, you may want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel and watching live, and kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, do have to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also join us on socials, Instagram specifically, with the handle at Afia Business _. This is in a bid to have you part of our social media community so we can interact a lot much better. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. Coming up next will be a conversation around the seeming incessant power grid collapse on the Eastern Business Report. The Afia Business Morning will be right back after this time out. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in market pikin.
Looking to grow your business? At Afia TV, we've got just what you need. With our various on-screen advertising options like space bags, lower third, sidebars, right in front of your audience. With our lower third, your brand messages appear during the most viewed programs on TV, allowing your audience to see your message without interrupting their TV experience. Now, if you want to go big, our space bag is ideal because it puts your brand messages on spotlight without interrupting viewers' experience. With our sidebars, your brand messages also takes the spotlight on our screen, ensuring brand exposure. These advertising options are affordable, effective, and designed to drive results. Get started today and watch your business shoot up. For more inquiries, call the numbers on your screen.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities, making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
You're still watching the Afia Business Morning. This, indeed, is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on the business activities and policies, of course, affecting businesses and the economy of the southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we will be looking at the incessant power grid collapse. Now, this is key because you may want to think, okay, how does this affect you? It affects you directly because, of course, it may interest you to know that the frequent collapses of Nigeria's national electricity grid has become a recurring nightmare for residents and businesses alike. In just 1 week, the country experienced a series of power outages, leaving millions without electricity for extended periods. Now, for the sake of explanation, a power grid is basically a network of electrical transmission lines that connects several generating stations to loads spread across a large area. Now, generator stations, transmission lines, and towers, and individual consumer distribution lines comprise the power grid. Now, this power grid is intended to operate within certain limits known as, stability limits in accordance with voltage, current, and frequency. Now, as a result, whenever these limits are outside of the stability range, the grid's operation becomes unstable and may collapse. Just so you know, the Nigerian national grid is set to operate on a designated frequency level with the upper limit at 51.25 Hz and lower limit of 48.75 Hz. Now let me try to explain this very quickly. Now take for instance, you have the generator we call I Pass My Neighbor, and you are trying to connect a 2 horsepower AC unit with a microwave on that same generator. The power would just automatically shut down, you know. And this is exactly how it happens too on the national grid, meaning there is more demand than supply. Meanwhile, the national grid is gradually coming up as power has been restored in various parts of Lagos and Ibadan, according to our sources. And power supply was restored, according to this, our reports, that at 1:25 p.m. on Saturday. That the national power grid collapsed on Saturday morning, making it a third of such incidents in just 1 week. Now, these issues and more will form the basis of our conversation this morning. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome. Now, before we get into this issue proper, I was opportune to, dabble online and come in contact with a certain session, which had to be with the former chairman, Presidential Task Force on Power Sector. I'm talking about none other than Engineer Bex Dagogo Jack. And thanks, of course, to our Rise News. Let's take a look at this reportage, and when we come back, that will form also the basis of what we're going to look at this morning. Please stay.
It's not something to celebrate because some effort was put in to correct this situation, but I would say we took our eyes off the ball. Number one is we don't have enough electricity. We can have 4,000, 5,000 megawatts for 100, 200 million people. 200 million people growing at about 2%, 2.5%. Number one is we don't have enough electricity. We can have 4,000, 5,000 megawatts for 100, 200 million people. 200 million people growing at about 2%, 2.5% per annum needs not less than another 50,000 megawatts that is also growing at the population growth rate. Now, can you imagine 50,000 megawatts is what we need, but we are on about 5,000 megawatts, barely scratching 10%. is very similar to a family of 15 that has only 3 cups of rice per day, and you're wondering why people have kwashiorkor, why people have malnutrition, why people are collapsing. That is the situation we are confronting. For me, that is the root cause. The root cause is that we don't have enough electricity to go around, and the system that will convey this electricity is permanently stressed. So the root cause is that we don't have enough electricity for a country as huge as we are. That's the root cause. There are other immediate causes that anyone looking at the system would see. There are other immediate causes. I also believe that one of the immediate causes is the fact that we have not done what we should do so far as pricing is concerned. By way of priority, I'll put more priority on electricity, which we have completely levelized, if you like, by way of cost. But a situation where you don't have fully reflective cost in electricity, you are marooning the industry, you are marooning the market. The market is behaving abnormally. So to that extent, you can't expect so much from a market that is abnormal. But I've emphasized that our root cause is lack. We don't have enough. The other cause is that we don't have enough redundancy. You can't operate an electricity grid without enough redundancy at the generation as well as the transmission levels. At the generation level, by redundancy, I mean spinning reserve. You have to have the amount you export for the day, and you have to have another idle power waiting to deal with stresses on the grid that you cannot predict. So when that happens, your spinning reserve comes to the aid. By 2014, we were doing 4,800 exported daily, and we had 300 megawatts of spinning reserve, waiting to, if you like, jump into spaces where we have problems, frequency issues, current issues, all other issues that a system develops if it is stressed. But at the transmission level, we have to have what we call the N+1 redundancy or N-1 contingency. These technical parameters specify that a transmission grid must have options it can fall back to when the system is stressed, either by going on an alternative line or just switching back to a double line that you put in case something goes wrong with the first line. We don't have any of those things. You can't run a transmission grid on one corridor serving so many people. You're just overloading the system, and any one of the equipment on that system can pack up. We don't have enough communication control on the system, what we call SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition system. It is increasing, the technology for it is improving every day in such a way that there is perfect handshake and data exchange between generation, transmission, distribution, and you can immediately step into. A 10-minute delay in that communication is enough to lead to system collapse. Yeah. We had 4,775 projects. So I'm talking 4,775 projects under the National Integrated Power PP. Of the 4,700 projects, about 3,000 of it were transmission line projects. Without those projects, I can tell you for free that we'll be dealing with 1,000 megawatts per day instead of the 5,000 that we're able to do as we speak. Even at that time, we delivered 11,000 megawatts of electricity by 2014. As of today, about more than half of it is redundant, it's not in utilization. So again, you want to put the facts right. What is going on? How come 2014 to 2023, we couldn't take up the electricity that had been constructed, that is on ground, that is working? All it needed was to structure it properly and let it begin to deliver power to the system. Even if we had 1,000 megawatts of spinning reserve, 1,000 per day, we won't have these collapses, because the collapses arise from the challenges of overstressing the line by different dynamics in the power equation. And this, most of them are attended to when you have enough reserve to intervene at the different levels. But we don't have that. So that is just addressing how well the Goodluck administration focused on power.
All right, there you have it. And we just listened to Engineer Bex Gogo Jack, who was the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Power Sector. And he took out his time to share his thoughts with us with reference to the frequent collapse of the power grid. Now, something I want to point out very quickly. One thing he did say, a few things he did say was, number one, we don't have enough power to go round. South development, but that's what it is. We don't have enough power to go around. And as far as redundancy is concerned, there is no reserve to deal with stresses that come on the power grid, right? And then there's no technical parameters in place. Absolutely none, because we'd have no options to transfer load to wherever so that the grid stays stable. He also did say there is overloading of the system. And then one particular part that intrigues me from what he said was that there were electricity generation stations that were created during the Goodluck Jonathan administration, but all of them have been abandoned. Most of them have been abandoned, as it were. And so those particular stations have not been used, so to speak, to generate power that would have otherwise supported the national grid from 2014 through to 2024. Those are issues we'll be looking at after this time out. Please stay. Welcome back, and there's still the Eastern Business Report, and we're taking out the time to look at issues with, well, the frequent collapse of the national grid, the power national grid. But I want to try to refresh your mind. Are you aware that many states reported total blackouts, including, of course, Enugu State? Now, this latest failure in the power grid came on the heels of two other collapses earlier in the week, further straining the already fragile power system. Now, this collapse marked the 8th grid disturbance in 2024, adding to challenges that have long plagued Nigeria's power sector. Now, the 8th grid disturbance, did you take note of that? Now, let me emphasize a few things as we get on with this conversation. The Nigerian national grid, really, is set to operate on a designated frequency level. According to my research, it may interest you to know that there's an upper limit of 51.25 hertz and a lower limit of 48.75 hertz. Now, any frequency higher or lower than this can potentially cause the grid to collapse. It's mostly a function of higher demand anyway. Meanwhile, there is something called an SO, and the job of the SO is basically to make sure that the frequency movement is between these two levels. I'm talking about the upper limit and lower limit of 51.25 hertz and 48.75 hertz respectively. Now, any significant deviation from these two levels, that is, if it exceeds above the threshold of Welcome back. Sincere apologies for that mix-up there. But meanwhile, I was taking a look at grid collapse and why it happens. But then there's something I want to point out because my time's running out really fast. A grid collapse is not like a collapse that something bad does happen. Yeah, something bad happens, but not like that. Okay? You may interest you to know that the 26 grid-connected generators will just automatically shut down because of safety and security reasons. Obviously, in your houses, you pretty much have that, okay? It's called a circuit breaker, right? If you have a serious electrical fault, the circuit breaker will trip off to shut down the entire supply and protect everyone from potential injuries or damages. Now, that is pretty much what it is, so, okay? Now, the question really is, how can the Nigerian government make this good? This is a key question I want to ask. And you may want to share your thoughts with me and drop off a comment or two on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, do well to hit the like button, and remember you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And of course, you can do well on do us the honors of following us on Instagram with the handle @Afia Business, just so you be part of our social media community. Remember, few things I did share earlier with us with reference to this would be, number one, we don't have enough power to go around the country, right? Number two is there is, as far as redundancy is concerned, there is absolutely no reserve that we have power reserve, that is, to deal with stresses when it comes on the grid. And there's no technical parameters in place, as well as no options when it comes to too much load that you can switch to another line and life goes on. But no, that doesn't happen on the Nigerian power grid. No, it doesn't. Also, there is the overloading of the system, obviously. More demand than supply. Yes, overloading on the system. And then let's also ask this critical question. What happened to the electricity generation stations that already had been done by the Goodluck administration, which are not in use, as it were, right now? That's a good place to leave it, and this will be the size of the package today on the Eastern Business Report. And today I took out the time to look at the issues around Nigeria's seemingly in-season power and power grid collapse, and also analyze a session with the former chairman, Presidential Task Force on Power Sector, Engineer Bex Dagogo-Jack. And of course, all thanks to Rise News. And you're still watching Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Coming up next is Onye Afia. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
Hello, what's up, Afia? welcome to the Afia podcast. My name is Harchelo, and here we talk about trade and the lifestyle of a hustler. Whether you're a hustler for streets or for office, we there for you. In fact, today we are taking it to the office. We have an interesting person. He's interesting because he makes businesses interesting. That's his job, right? Jeremy, no.
My boss.
Welcome to Afia.
Thank you, boss. Thank
Welcome
you so much.
Afia.
It's a
You are the
pleasure.
branding guy. The guy at what you Ozubas.
Something that people can believe in.
Yes.
Right. Right. So I don't know if that works, so I should explain it a little bit.
Do you want to explain it a little bit?
I can. So if I'm to relate that to how people live, that would be what makes me different. When I walk into a space, what do I wear? How do I talk? What do I say? That people will turn their heads and be like, who is that guy? Who that guy we just enter here? Now, those things I do that makes me who I am are the things that make me that creates my brand. But in this case, it's brand as a